In the inky depths of the Apache Sitgreaves National Forest, on a chilling night in 1975, an ordinary man embarked on an extraordinary journey that would forever blur the line between fact and fiction. The tale of Travis Walton, a young logger who vanished into thin air, only to resurface with a mind-bending account of alien abduction, has enthralled the world for over 4 decades. What began as a seemingly routine missing persons case transformed into an electrifying personal odyssey, one that thrusts us into the shadowy realms of extraterrestrial encounters. Join us as we peel back the layers of this astonishing narrative, where truth dances on the precipice of the unknown, and where the inexplicable events of that fateful night still beckon with questions yet unanswered. Vanishing Act: The Unearthly Mystery of Travis Walton. Travis Walton was 22 when he joined a 7-man logging crew responsible for thinning out 1,277 acres of small trees in an area of the Apache Sitgreaves National Forest known as Turkey Springs. On the night of November 5, 1975, the 7-man crew was traveling down a forest road when they spotted a lit UFO hovering around 20 feet above a clearing on the right side of the roadway.
I first thought it was the moon, and then as we're driving along, I'm looking over here and I can see the moon over here.
For whatever reason, Travis left the safety of the vehicle and his 6 companions to race toward the UFO, which would shine a light on him. Afraid of the object, the 6 men proceeded to leave Travis and the UFO behind. When they returned 15 minutes later, both Travis Walton and the light were no longer there.
And when I look back, he's a few feet off the ground and he's stretched out like this.
Details tend to vary based on the accounts as well as the sources, with some offering little detail and others going into greater detail. Some recount that the UFO not only shined its light on Travis, but that the blue-green light emitting from the object actually knocked him back several feet and onto the ground, causing the others to flee in fear. Regardless, Travis was long gone, and as they'd soon find out, nowhere to be seen for several days after he made the error of approaching the UFO. Travis Walton was reported missing by logging crew chief Michael H. Rogers that same night at 7:45 p.m. to local officer L.C. Ellison. Ellison, accompanied by Sheriff Martin Gillespie and Deputy Kenneth Copeland, met with the loggers in Heber. 3 of the loggers, including Rogers, went with the officers to search for Travis in Turkey Springs, but paused the search around midnight so they could start their search fresh again in the morning. During this time, Rogers and Copeland also made it a priority to visit Travis's mother to make her aware of the disappearance, visiting her around 1:30 a.m. Travis's mother was not very surprised about the disappearance, and neither was her daughter, who she called around 3 in the morning. On the morning of November 7th, a search party of around 50 people was assembled to scour the Turkey Springs area in search of any sign of Travis. Despite their best efforts, they came up unsuccessful within the first few hours of searching. To everyone's surprise, Travis's mother actually called off the search, confident that her son would return given the circumstances. On November 8th, both Rogers and Travis's brother, Dwayne, complained about the canceled search. The sheriff then put together another search party with a helicopter, but they still turned up empty-handed. At this point, the story had gotten out, first to regional newspapers, then to UFO interest groups, then to newspaper outlets across the globe as the search continued through November 11th.
Everyone dissents, not just your local UFO groups, UFO researchers. Sure, they were there. But on top of that, you have media. You have the National Enquirer, the great tabloid rag that was covering things like this.
The police also naturally suspected foul play given the suspicious circumstances that Travis disappeared under, questioning all 6 loggers using a polygraph test.
It took about 2 hours, and it was like 4 questions over and over and over.
Did you murder Travis Walton? No. Did you see what seemed to be a flying saucer? Yes. Did you see the object hit him with a beam of light? Yes.
I think that they all were trying to tell the truth about everything.
It wasn't until November 12, 1975, that Travis would be found, but he wasn't discovered by any of the search efforts that police had been putting together. Instead, Travis phoned his sister's house after midnight from a payphone in Heber. His sister's husband, Grant Neff, answered the phone, picking up Dwayne and then heading to Heber to get Travis.
I really kind of went catatonic for a little bit there. Went back, had a very emotional reunion with my mother, and it was just tears my heart to even, you know, think to this day, you know, that what she was going through.
The operator who directed the call recognized Travis's name and notified the sheriff, who sent Deputy Glenn Flake to Travis's sister's home. Interestingly enough, Dwayne never revealed that Travis had been found, but he did feel that Travis needed medical attention. The first stop, to see a hypnotherapist recommended by a UFO expert. The hypnotherapist recommended that Travis seek medical attention first, given that Travis was exhibiting signs of drug use and that there were puncture marks on his right arm consistent with intravenous drug use. Dwayne finally notified the police about Travis after stories started spreading about Travis's reappearance around 7 p.m. that day. By 11 p.m., the sheriff reached the hospital where Travis was being treated and interviewed him. An interview that both Travis and Dwayne requested not to be recorded. Travis also refused to undergo a polygraph interview with the police, but he would accept other interviews that people were currently offering.
Why not the polygraph test? This has been a major criticism.
To him, you know, my top priority should be, you know, get out there and take a lie detector test. It's a fragile condition that my brother made all these decisions. I didn't even talk to him or discuss these things with him, tell him what I wanted, whether I would do this interview or do that or anything. I was, you know, not in that kind of shape.
On November 14th, Travis would undergo hypnotherapy with the National Enquirer reporters, where he would recount his gripping tale for nearly 2 hours. His second interview on November 15th with freelance polygraph examiner Jack McCarthy wouldn't prove as exciting, as McCarthy reported that Travis was allegedly and blatantly trying to influence polygraph results by holding his breath and engaging in other deceptive acts as a means to get the outcome he wanted. But despite all the media and attention that he had experienced so far, it was his interview with Phoenix television station KOOL that would solidify his reputation as a UFO abduction survivor and pop culture phenomenon.
From a psychological perspective, I can't imagine what it would have been like for a young 22-year-old man working out with a logging crew in the woods to have undergone this radically life-changing event.
It's a net negative, you know. We lost our jobs in the immediate aftermath of it, and I'm, you know, definitely got the feeling that, you know, many opportunities that I had in life were forever closed to me on account of having had this happen.
Despite having a UFO abduction story that seems to withstand the test of time and cement Travis as a survivor of extraterrestrial experimentation in the eyes of UFO enthusiasts and groups everywhere, there's not much to Travis's testimony. Like many, Travis only has bits and pieces that he can properly recount about his time in the spacecraft and with the aliens. Memory loss is a common phenomenon among those who claim that they've been abducted by aliens. That being said, Travis does remember some things, which he would describe in his interview with KOOL and in future interviews, media, and appearances.
My family told me about the news people and all the people that were crowding around, and I was just in no condition.
Travis claims that his journey began when he lost consciousness after being struck by the light that he ran into on the side of the road. When he came to, he found himself in an environment that reminded him of a hospital room, and there were 3 small, bald creatures who were watching him. He tried to fight them, but was escorted to another room by a human wearing a helmet, where he was likely experimented on by other humans wearing helmets. After they put a clear plastic mask on him, he blacked out and only regained consciousness when he found himself wandering on the side of the highway on November 12, as a flying saucer took off into the sky. While this is the exact experience that Travis would describe moving forward, there would never be liberties taken in other forms of media that add additional details to the story that were never disclosed or experienced by Travis during his time on the ship. Whether or not Travis liked it, his story would propel him into the spotlight, turning him into a pop culture phenomenon and proof that UFOs and extraterrestrials do exist for those who are staunch believers. It wouldn't take long for Travis to start receiving massive attention and financial compensation for his experience. The National Enquirer would award Travis and the other loggers involved in the Travis Walton incident $5,000 for the best UFO case of the year, only days after Travis returned home. In 1978, Travis published his own book about the incident, as well as various details that he believed to corroborate his story, titled The Walton Experience. This book would then go on to inspire a movie decades later in 1993 titled Fire in the Sky. While there are elements of Travis's personal account of the events in the movie, much of it was made up to shock audiences and make up for the lack of details due to Travis's own reported lack of consciousness during the incident. This includes the slimy cocoons, the decomposing human remains, and the testing that they conducted on Travis in the movie. Travis Walton's enduring status as an alleged abductee remains an integral part of his life. He actively participates in UFO conventions and even hosts his own event, the Skyfire Summit in Arizona.
I wanted people who were key, could cover key areas, and the topic I asked them to speak on was more tailored towards a sort of a foundation course, sort of a ufology 101, to lay the basics for justifying a serious consideration of this topic.
Additionally, he's been featured on various platforms, including guest appearances on notable podcasts such as Joe Rogan's in 2021, and his presence on The Moment of Truth game show back in 2008, along with an appearance on How To with John Wilson in 2023. Like numerous first-hand accounts, as well as photographic or video evidence regarding alleged UFO sightings and encounters with extraterrestrial beings, Travis's narrative has faced its fair share of skeptics who contend that he concocted his story with the aim of attaining fame and wealth.
Have you read my book?
Yeah, I just don't accept it. I think it's possible that you just made up the story. I hate to say it.
I sure wish that we had a piece of the spaceship, and you know who else would wish it more than you or I? Travis Walton, who's have to live through this story for 35 years.
One prominent argument put forth by skeptics highlights the fact that Travis Walton and his family were deeply immersed in UFO research well before the alleged abduction occurred. It's worth recalling how Travis's mother and other family members displayed minimal surprise or distress when he vanished, raising doubts about whether they genuinely anticipated his return. Their extensive knowledge of UFOs and Travis's prior awareness of extraterrestrial phenomena could potentially have provided him with the necessary background to fabricate an abduction account with greater ease. Naturally, these are not the only intriguing coincidences in this saga. A mere fortnight prior to the alleged abduction, on October 20th, 1975, NBC aired a made-for-TV movie titled The UFO Incident. This film featured a character who, under hypnosis, vividly recalled his purported alien abduction experience, a narrative that bears a striking resemblance to Travis's own life story. This shared resemblance has led some to speculate whether Travis and Rogers collaborated in crafting their tale. Notably, Travis had a pre-existing connection with Rogers, extending beyond their roles as co-workers on the forest clearing project, as he knew Rogers' younger brother, with whom he had been involved in criminal activities. Skeptics and critics of Travis's account also point to a plethora of inconsistencies and concerns that seem to permeate his testimony and the evidence used to support his alleged encounter with extraterrestrials.
That's what I'm known for. I check on things, and I have what I call a big gray basket. Not black, not white, maybe. People want a yes or a no answer. Do you believe this or don't? I say, I don't know enough in many cases. If somebody tells you a story for 2 minutes and I'm supposed to make a judgment? No, that's not the way we nuclear physicists act. At least this one doesn't.
These issues encompass the inconclusive or potentially manipulated polygraph results, Michael H. Rogers publicly renouncing his status as a witness to the incident and privately discussing the creation of a UFO hoax, testimonies from fellow loggers indicating they worked well beyond their usual hours on the day of the incident, and that both Rogers and Travis mysteriously vanished from the worksite, and the suggestion that they might have leveraged a fire lookout tower with the assistance of a third party to lend credibility to their alleged hoax. Initially, many townsfolk remained skeptical of the story, but perceptions appeared to shift over time as the narrative gained momentum, prompting more individuals to share their own experiences. While conclusive evidence remains elusive, the debate surrounding this case continues, with adherents on both sides of the divide. What makes old cases involving the mysterious or the paranormal intriguing is their tendency to fade into obscurity over time. Often they lose momentum as fresher and more captivating narratives emerge, or when technological advances cast doubt on their authenticity. People often come forward to unveil the truth behind what initially appeared enigmatic or unexplainable, revealing many of these events to be hoaxes. However, the case of Travis Walton stands out from this trend. Despite nearly half a century passing since the fateful day on November 5, 1975, Travis Walton's account remains remarkably steadfast. He continues to recount the same narrative, which he first shared shortly after the incident, and has since retold consistently. According to his recollection, he was forcibly placed on a table, lost consciousness shortly thereafter, and regained awareness while wandering along a highway as the unidentified spacecraft ascended into the sky. While some may perceive his account as simple or formulaic, it has remained unchanged throughout the years. Travis Walton, often identified as an alleged alien abductee, fully embraced the new identity that this extraordinary experience bestowed upon him. He has played a prominent role in the UFO community, actively participating in UFO-related events and engaging with enthusiasts who share a deep fascination with extraterrestrial phenomena. Notably, he is reunited with fellow members of the logging crew who were present during the incident, individuals who witnessed the events described by Travis upon his discovery in Heber. Residing near the location where the incident transpired, Travis Walton sees himself as an unwilling celebrity. While he did not seek the attention that engulfed him after encountering the spacecraft and its alien occupants, he views this encounter as a responsibility. He believes it's his duty to share his story and ensure that others in the area have a voice, along with a warning about the potential encounters they might face while living in the vicinity. In the captivating realm of UFO encounters and alien abductions, the Travis Walton case continues to evoke fascination and intrigue. November 5, 1975 marked the inception of an event that defies conventional explanation, leaving us with a narrative that lingers in our collective consciousness.
The question is, what the hell happened to this young man?
As we navigate the intricate layers of this perplexing incident, we're left with compelling questions that mirror the complexity of the event itself. Does Travis Walton's steadfast adherence to his account, unchanged across nearly 5 decades, suggest an authentic encounter with an extraterrestrial presence? Or does the unwavering consistency of his story hint at a meticulously constructed narrative, honed over time for personal gain or perhaps a more profound purpose? The proximity of the incident to a television program portraying a remarkably similar scenario raises the tantalizing prospect of inspiration. Did Walton and his companions draw from the world of popular culture to craft a tale that would forever alter their destinies? Furthermore, the intricate tapestry of witnesses, polygraph tests, and public skepticism adds an additional layer of complexity, challenging our perceptions of truth and deceit. While skeptics vehemently dismiss Walton's claims as a hoax engineered for fame and fortune, the enduring mystery of this case refuses to easily be discarded. The events of that fateful November night continue to cast a long shadow over the field of ufology, beckoning us to explore the uncharted realms of the inexplicable. The Travis Walton case serves as a poignant reminder that amid the skepticism and uncertainty, certain enigmas resist straightforward explanation. As we contemplate the enduring puzzle of his alleged alien abduction, we're left with tantalizing questions that beckon us to uncover the truth behind this extraordinary encounter.